So this year is I've just as an old person starting to understand myself a little bit more and my idiosyncrasies and why I act and react the way I do and think the way I do. I always knew it was different, right? I was always the smart but troubled child. I was the one who skipped a couple of grades in school and then skipped a lot of days of school, right? So it's none of it really made sense. And autodidactic, I love to learn. I'm always wanting to figure things out. So, it shouldn't have come too much of a surprise to me when I was a late diagnosed with AuDHD. It all sort of made sense. Um, and I've been thinking about my career and how I've sort of gone into open source and data, and it is about open source is about understanding more, and it's about being able to get inside and learn and fix and tune. So I think that's a for neurodiversity. Open source is just sort of a such a comfortable place to be. It's like a nest, right? It's a weighted blanket, I think, for neurodiversity. Um, and also in observability, right? I in data and observability, I for whatever reason have always been collecting data and doing analysis with them, thinking about it or not. So it makes real sense to me that yeah, I ended up in an observability, data rich AI world because I want to make sense of data. It's everywhere and collecting all the information. If we don't have it all, we can't make all the right decisions. So what that got me thinking though is that you could have a problem with that. And the idea is that, I think our brains work like, at least mine does, and I assume others do, like a observability platform or an open source observability platform. And unfortunately for me, I have had no ingestion throttling or cleanliness at all. I have been taking in logs and metrics from everything for 50 years, and I have not updated the hardware. And let's just say that it was meant to run basic, and now it's trying to run advanced observability platform. So where that comes in is for me is I'm taking in all the data, just like an observability platform again. So one of the examples I have in here is going in and sitting down for a quick meeting with Dave here. The normal person, normal and neurotypical, can come in and sit down with Dave, have a quick meeting, and what they log out of there was, where is it? Event, meeting, person equals Dave, status equals okay. It's a meeting. It's done. It's over. What I come in and see is with my telemetry data, I come in and see eye contact duration is too short. Dave's sigh count, he sounded 2 times before there. Oh my goodness, the ambient room noise. There's a little clicking or noisy, or the fluorescent lights are flickering. He looks slightly annoyed. And then, I'm picking up all these signals and going on them and building a narrative that doesn't necessarily need to be done. But again, like an observability solution, I'm pulling in all of the signals, and it's how we correlate those and connect them that's important. And that's was some of the challenges. So it's not just in pulling in all this data. I think one of the challenges that I faced was in and around, much like any system worth its salt, if it's a SIEM system, if it's enterprise observability, it's in data enrichment is important. So I would take all this data in and then enrich it with historical data, other things that are going on. His Slack status was set to in commuting and not or sick for the last couple of days. His messages have been slightly shorter. Just any little things that I'm picking up on is, wait, the last time it was silent like this project was delayed, or these sort of things. So it's always piecing together the what could it be, and the risk level goes way up, right? So it's that contextual enrichment. It's threat feeds, right? It's just like you're seeing. I'm pulling in threat feeds all the time of what it can be. Looking at internal system health check, what I need to do is lower the severity of all of these alerts that are coming in. So obviously the hidden cost of this, I hope everybody will have a chance to read this if this interests you, but it really just kind of goes through, if you've got a system that was already taxed, the human brain, and then we're trying to do unlimited observability on it, multi-tenant in some cases, it can be a real load. So it's about having to work through these. So it's dropping logs at the edge, right? Much what we'd say not to do it when we're selling you logs because we want you to pay for the storage and ingestion. But in reality, if you are dropping bad logs at the edge, it means that you're not going to have to process them. You don't have to store them. You're not going to pull them up for historical data. Easier to be said than done. What I found though was just doing a quick reality check on the data I'm pulling in. Yes, it is noisy in here, and yeah, the fan is clicking. noted, done. I don't need to think anymore about it. I don't need to think about when the last time the maintenance was in here, and has this caused any confusion for anybody else where a project may have been thrown off because there was a constant ticking. Like, just, I don't need to think about that crazy stuff anymore. Scheduling maintenance windows too. I mean, sure, it's build fast and build in production and break fast, fix fast. That kind of works for some software, but it doesn't really work for humans that well because we don't have scheduled maintenance windows like we might put up for a software. So that's one of the things I'm trying to implement is just downtime, time where I am focused on just things that I want to matter. And yeah, for me, it's just been a really interesting journey. I don't know if this is a unique or a different way of looking at it, or if I just haven't been paying too much attention because this wasn't in my world before. Well, it was. I just didn't know. I had the wrong lens on. So I'd love to hear from anybody if this makes sense. If you feel like you've had some cardinality explosion, or you need to drop some logs at the edge, that could be taken the wrong way. If you need to control ingest or slow down the enrichment, I'd love to hear and see if this idea or theory even resonates. I'm hoping that I can develop on this and put it into maybe even a series of talks or different videos and talking to other people in the space or in other spaces that are dealing with some of the same neurodiversity challenges and just how they see it interacting with potentially systems that are outside of observability even. So anyway, that's this one. Let's see how it looks.